to start the game off if you're a Wichita fan.
Yeah, I think there was a car ahead of them that might have bumped the goalie in net as well. So great team plays right off the bat from Wichita. And it looks like, we almost got a response from Jimmy and Zachman there. But it's back in Wichita's possession, and they're going to carry it downfield to center. They don't have anyone to follow it up after that pinch, and it's going to go center. Logor keeps it away from the very center, of course, into the net, but it's still on the Vandal half. We've been seeing a lot of pressure from their side, and I think Wichita has got some very good midfield plays and very good possession on that side.
Yeah, I very much agree with that, especially in the fronts of these bumps that they've been going for.
Yeah.
A lot of these, at the lower levels of plays, you don't really see people intentionally going for these bumps. Sometimes you'll see demos occasionally, depending on how fast you're going, but bumps is something that's really, really powerful, especially because not only are you not getting them out of the game for the 3 seconds, but you're completely veering them off the course that they want to go, so it's really something powerful to be doing. But I mean, Vandals are also showing that, hey, our offense is also quite good. We'll take turns volleying back and forth in this scenario.
Yeah, I do think I've been seeing, especially in that brief offense from the, it was more than brief, but in that offense from the Vandals, I was seeing a lot of bumps on their side too, so I think they're kind of responding with that physicality. We got a great save from Zachman there. There was a double commit. Now Logor, he has the boost, a little bit awkward on the sidewall there, but he's going to get it down to Jimmy. It is stuffed away by Kappa. Solis is going to try to bring it center. Ooh, they couldn't quite connect there. Zachman got there first, and now Logor is going to hit to the side. There have been a few double commits, I think, on the side of the Vandals. Like some mishaps a little bit, maybe some miscommunication. I'd like to think maybe it's... they had a game plan before this, so it's not really warm-up, but it might just be a little bit of, not necessarily exhaustion, but nerves, especially if they were kind of worried about this match.
Yeah, and I can guarantee that this team is definitely a lot better than the one that they were playing in their ECAC match early about an hour ago. So they really are pulling out all the stops. And you can see their defense, even if with all these double commits that they're going for, they still are on top of their game.
True.
They're really trying to make sure that, hey, we know there is at least one person in net at all times, and our offense is... It hasn't quite taken a hold quite yet. We haven't had quite the aggression that Wichita has had yet, but I mean, they're figuring it out so far.
Yeah, now we got Jimmy over on the side. He's going to try to bring it center, can't quite get it around Shega. Logor, again, can't quite get it around the defense. Zachman's there to carry it so it doesn't go quite in net. That was great defense from him. And Jimmy's going to take it over to the corner. He's bringing it downfield. Shega's got it. We've seen, I think, there's been some great challenges on the side of Wichita in the sense that they've been there at the ball in a way that a lot of teams aren't. Especially like in the teams that have gone up against the Vandals that have lost, a lot of them don't have those early challenges that the Vandals can perfect. So I think Wichita, in that respect, they're doing a very good job at halting both defense and offense from the Vandals.
It's true, and part of the reason that both their defense and their offense have been super duper good is that both of these teams, honestly, have been doing a great job at getting past the first defender. A lot of the times, it's, at the beginning of the game, it's really, we're just volleying back and forth using the beginning of our defense stage, whereas both teams have kind of been sneaking by the initial defenders on both sides. And in a way, Kappa also taking out Jimmy is one of those ways that you can sneak by those defenders there.
Yeah, no, the physicality has definitely been a good moment for both teams today. And just a little bit more favored on the side of Wichita as they're 1 goal up. But I think the Vandals have been super strong as well in this first game, and they're pretty even. Like, Wichita has scored no other goals, and it just seems like they've been intercepting a lot of the passes that really define Vandal gameplay.
Ooh, Jimmy trying to go for an interesting play, but he's not able to get around Sheg. Sheg, in fact, able to score right at the very end with 1 second on the clock, so that it is going to be game number 1 going to Wichita. However, I mean, there was a really long volley.
Yeah.
It was like first maybe 20 seconds or so that Wichita got a goal, and then the last 4.5 minutes, it was right up until the very end. So.
Yeah, and honestly, like, without those brief breaks and such, I think it's pretty difficult, like breaks when you do score a goal. It can be a little bit tiring to just continuously keep up that volley and like that focus.
Yeah. Because a lot of the times, too, is you can take those moments during when somebody gets a goal, because you've got like 5 to 10 seconds, depending on how crazy of a goal it was, to really sit down with your team and be like, hey, we can talk, we have a little bit of a breather, great, we can relax our brains for a second while we get prepped for the next round of start. So, yeah, a long volley like that, like you were saying, is really, really intensive on the brains. So
yeah, because, I mean, it's even, you've got like it's hard because you even taking a drink of water or kind of letting your hands stop cramping or something like that, it can be really difficult if it's this long extended play with overtime as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think last season in ECAC, we actually had a 12-minute overtime, if I remember
correctly.
Yes,
I believe our club team number 1 ended up going to a 12-minute overtime, which is an insanely long amount of time to go. You think that the 5-minute in-game time for just the normal volleys is long? I mean, playing for 12 minutes is something else. So.
Yeah, especially overtime, there's a greater stress, especially I know we had overtime game 7, I think, for ECAC championships, and that was, as a caster, that was stressful, but that was extremely exciting.
Yeah, as a Vandal fan, you've always got to be super stressed about those game 5s, but as like a respecter of the sport and somebody who just loves watching in general, oh man, you want to see those really close matches, right?
I know. Yeah, and now speaking of close matches, we do have game number 2 starting out from Wichita versus Vandals. Logor interrupts Shega's play. Now it looks like Zachman's going to carry it down the field. That was a good touch from him, but Kappa's able to take over. Logor hits it to the center. Jimmy is there to follow it up. Not the best touch, and he can't quite take advantage of that opportunity. Solus is going to bring it downfield. He does fake out Zachman. Logor is going to try to hit it. He does get some purchase on the ball. Jimmy's following it up. Ooh, almost gets a shot on net, but Wichita, as always, are there. Their defense has been very present.
And it's something that's super duper important on the defense for both of these teams that they've really showcased well is how well their rotates have been so far.
Rotations are beautiful.
In the past, the Vandals have done they've been okay on some of their rotates, but with their double commits that they used to go for very, very frequently, a lot of the times their rotates would get out of sync. Whereas in this game, you can really tell that both teams are like, hey, we're really making sure that we are on top of our game when it comes to our rotates.
Yeah, I mean, part of that also might be they knew this matchup might be difficult, so they're just covering their bases, which is really cool to see, like that adaptation and such. And speaking of their defense on Idaho's side has been pretty good. They haven't had much possession in the offense, and they haven't had an opportunity for much shots, but they've still been taking the initiative. And now Jimmy's going to take it from the corner. Logor takes over. Jimmy seems a little bit awkward there. Kappa is going to carry it downfield once again. Logor off the sidewall, but Kappa brutally knocks him out of the way there.
What a crazy close corner and engage there right at the very end. That bump onto Kappa was actually huge, but it doesn't matter because he just flies in from the midfield. Finally, he's able to get one score on the board, 1:30 in on this game so far.
Yeah, and Sheg looks like he's going to take it center. Kappa just came flying out of no one was stopping him, even if there had been a car in the way. He just, that was some speed.
Yeah, I mean, if you're both teams in this scenario, right, you got to be kind of happy if you're a Vandal fan, because I mean, they've shown that, hey, yeah, we can hold our defense very well. But if you're a Wichita fan, you've also shown, hey, we can get past their defense right as long as we keep up our aggression for long enough. And so it's like a really big battle of immovable objects versus an unstoppable will in this case.
Yeah, and now Jimmy's trying to dribble it around, can't quite get the touch. Shake takes over. Zachman steals it from him. He almost gets the second touch, but Logor is there. Solus kind of keeps control, stops Vandals. Kind of awkward in these middle touches. Lots of fake outs, and I think there's been a lot of situations this match where both cars, like one from each side, have been going for the ball, but adjusting so that they stuff the other person that's coming to hit them. And then if the other player does that too, you both miss the ball, and that's frustrating. I know that's happened to me a few different times.
Yeah, there is a kind of a rock, paper, scissors-esque type of game that you play when it comes to this ball. It's like, oh, is my opponent going to go for me? Are they going to go for the ball? But, I mean, Jimmy showing that he's going to go for the ball here, scoring the first goal on the side of Idaho now.
Yeah, that was what I was talking about team plays earlier. This was a great team play because Shag, he slammed Logor out of the play there, but Logor's only intention was to get it down to Jimmy and to get that goal. So we are now 1-1 with 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the second match.
Yeah, this is going to be a good series. I can already tell just by the way both these two teams are playing. It's really going to come down to, I think, who can outlast the other in these one games.
Yeah.
It's gonna, if the Vandals can find a couple games that they can take, it's going to see, hey, is Wichita's aggression going to be able to maintain through all up to 5 games that they could potentially play? Or is Wichita just going to say, hey, we're just going to whittle down their defense fast enough and try and get a quick 3-0, 3-1 maybe?
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely, and I think one thing the Vandals have been good about is nerves. I don't think they've really had, or I haven't really noticed an issue from that. Oh, that was a close.
Oh, it was very close indeed. Close enough for Solus to actually pick up the goal right off of the back of, I believe that was Kappa over there at the end.
Oh, that's got to be painful. The crossbar had me hoping, but Zachman couldn't get in the air quite fast enough. So great. Oh, the one thing I have been also liking about Wichita is they take advantage of the fact that there might be only one man back, or the offense might be not, or the defense isn't necessarily lacking on the side of the Vandals, but Wichita has been so quick to get their cars onto the offensive side and to take possession that it's been difficult for the Vandals to keep up with it, I think. And that's cost them 2 goals so far.
Yeah, and it's especially interesting how fast they are in the air with all of their movement, right?
Yes.
Like, I have not really been able to pinpoint exactly, like, the patterns that any of these players on the side of Wichita like to go for when they go for these air dribbles, you know? Whereas we've been watching Jimmy, Logor, and Zachman long enough. We're like, oh, yeah, I know that Jimmy's probably going to air dribble fairly high up on the ceiling, and Zachman likes to go for these fakes on the ground. Whereas Wichita is being very ambiguous about how they've been taking the ball back and forth across the field.
Yeah, it's been difficult to predict. Logor with a shot there. They've been keeping it center. They haven't had enough power or momentum on their shots to truly get it around Wichita. Logor, he's trying to again bring it to the center. We've seen lots of teamwork from the Vandals here, but the defense so far from Wichita has been almost immaculate. Like, they've been getting flawless kind of hits to the corner. They've been preventing those passes and those 50-50s. Now Logor, he's going to beam it down center again, but it falls straight to Shake, who's going to bring it on that side. It goes center again, but Logor gets a strong clear all the way to the other side onto Wichita's field. And then Jimmy, he's going to try to go for it. He does not get to the corner, but Shake is going to take it. It goes midfield, past to Zachman. Oh!
Wow, what a save from Solus. That was so good. I mean, that was probably the first time that the Vandals have had a center opportunity from pretty much this whole match, honestly. Even their initial goal wasn't a center goal. So, I mean, the fact that Wichita has been doing so good at, keeping this ball from being centered on the end of their goal has been super duper good, putting them up 2-0 currently.
Yeah, and Solus had very little boost, so that was a great save from him. But a great shot from Zachman, too. I enjoyed the infield pass that they did there.
Yeah, it's true indeed. And I mean, you can kind of tell that, like, there's almost no shots or saves coming from either side. So it's not even that, like, the people are going for a ton of these shots and just missing. It's just the defense from both teams has been so incredibly good that they just don't get the opportunity to go for these shots. Yeah,
like, they're instead of just... Oop, yep, that was the quick goal from Kappa. But instead of blocking shots and being in net, they've really just been shutting down plays, which is arguably a lot more important and a lot more important when it comes to victory.
Yes, it is indeed. So, I mean, that does bring us to a Game 5. I believe that CCS is a best-of-5 series instead of a best-of-7 like ECAC normally is. So this is the game point for Wichita State currently.
Yeah, and I mean, the Vandals probably have to be hoping that they won't be fully swept. And they definitely have a chance. I think if they need to increase their possession and their offense, because the only time Wichita has gotten the ball into their net and past the Vandals is when either there's been a runaway goal or it's just been constant pressure from their side. So the Vandals, even their rotations, just can't keep up with it.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing I want to see from the Vandals on their offense, too, is that I don't think that they've been necessarily super-duper tricky with how they have been approaching their offense. It's been pretty by the books for the most part, get it into the corner so you can try and set up for like a mid-goal shot that you can go for. And, I mean, Wichita's just kind of been ready for it, so I'd like to see a little bit more interesting air dribbles, maybe some bounces off the ceiling, double taps, kind of like what Sheg here was going for on the Vandal side.
Yeah, I think the lack of, not necessarily the lack of mechanics, but the lack of creativity has been a little bit damaging to the Vandals so far, and I've been seeing a lot of, I mean, I'm not good enough at the game to tell if they're intentional or not, but if I had to guess, I would be saying there's a few, not necessarily whiffs, but a lot of missed touches coming from the Vandals, even though they have been getting these saves and such. And now Zachman, he almost gets it in, but Sheg is there once again, and now they're running it downfield. Logor just barely gets there in time, and Jimmy's going to knock it off to the corner, straight to Sheg. Zachman with the save there. That was a good reaction time for him.
Oh, man, their rotates have just been so immaculate from both of these teams. You can tell that they're really both playing on top of their game. Neither of them really want to give either team very much ground as they go into this game number 3 here.
Yeah, I think the passes on both sides have been great. That was a great save from Zachman. Like I said, the defense has been so good on the side of the Vandals. They've been faced with too much Wichita offense to truly pull away with the victory and pull away with these goals.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, even there in that scenario, I mean, like, Logor almost had that goal saved, right? But then Jimmy was like, hey, I think we're in a dire scenario. I'm still able to come in from the side and, you know, clear this goal away from, or the ball away from our goal here in this scenario. Now it's on the side of the Wichita State, and they can start up there on their own offense.
Yeah, and it looks like Logor, he can't quite get purchase on the ball there, so Zachman's going to take over. It's knocked away from him by Sheg, but Jimmy's there. I don't know if he quite gets the touch he wanted off the side. Oh, that was a close save from Logor. That was great. That was a great defense right there. Now Jimmy, he knocks it around Solus, but not around Sheg, who dives across the goal and just barely gets there in time. And now Zachman, he's going to keep up the pressure. Good work from the Vandals so far. That was a good move off the ceiling. Now Jimmy's going to take over, but Kappa is knocking it back there. Logor, he has it. He's going to try to carry it back towards Vandal offense, but Sheg is just completely ready for him. Like, you can't let Wichita get purchase on the field because they're just going to continue that offense.
Ooh, Jimmy, that is more of the interesting dribbling that I like seeing from the side of the Vandals, and it almost actually nets him a goal in that scenario. Jimmy able to clear it through one, but I mean, just the defense from both these teams have been so immaculate so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Jimmy and Solus kind of fighting over the ball there, and it's going back to their side, bouncing off the corner. This could be a goal from Solus, and it is.
Great job getting it right past the face of, I believe that was Logor here in the net, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, right there, right past Logor. Just whoop, right in the corner, right exactly as you want to see. So well done to Wichita for getting that goal. And kind of along those lines, we've been talking about how good all the rotates for both these teams have been. It's something that's really important for these rotates is their boost management, because you can't really make effective boost or rotates and plays on offense and defense unless you have this boost. And I have not seen a scenario where either of these teams have been hurt for boost, pretty much.
Yeah, and I think that is one of the main differences that separates like a pro team from kind of a casual one, is especially because you can see the difference in boost management even between our like JV2 team and the varsity. Like, there's been a lot more times when casting or watching them that I've noticed they just lack boost for plays. And I think as you play it more, one thing you learn specifically is using as little boost as possible in the air when necessary, just to conserve it. And that's something you really see a lot from the pro players, and a lot from our Vandals too. Like, they're really good about that, as you were saying.
Sheg was able to get a double demo in this scenario. However, it did not really result from anything quite yet. We're going to see if this demo is going to actually affect anything or not. But Logor with a crazy save spikes it down into the ground so that Solus is not able to get a spike onto the net there.
Yeah, and it looks like Solus kind of fakes out Jimmy and Logor there. Zachman is just blasted out of the sky. Oh, kind of a mistouch from Jimmy there, but Logor takes over. Jimmy and Logor, they're going to fight to knock it downfield. Zachman takes over. He's bumped away. We're seeing that physicality again from Wichita. That is just, it's really interrupting Vandal plays, in my opinion.
There's only 45 seconds left on the clock, so if the Vandals want to stay in this series, they have to make something happen right now. This defense is not the spot you want to be in.
Yeah, Zachman, he's going to try to carry it to the corner. Oh!
What a great demo from Sheg. He's not quite able to get his Solus to get into the net, but I mean, that was a phenomenal play, all things considered.
Yeah, no, the demoing the goalie or the person in the net at that time is always a really solid performance, because, I mean, unless you have really good rotations, generally in the heat of the moment and in the...
Oh my gosh, is he going to get it? He does fly Solus yet again from down the midfield, and that is most likely going to seal the game for them. What a great play right here at the very end. Sheg barely centering it right for Solus there at the very end. Zachman, you barely missed the touch there right at the end. Couldn't quite save it in time.
Yeah, that was close. That was great reaction time from Solus there. Like, that was insane. And now Logor, he's going to try to knock it center. There isn't really any time left from the Vandals. Oh!
Oh my gosh, and one final goal right at the very end just to seal Wichita's fate. They win game number 3 in this scenario, and I do see our bubbles bumped up to 7, so I believe... Oh, they are readying up, so I do wonder if it is in fact best of 7 and not best of 5. Okay, so that is probably our mistake in that case. Gotcha. Okay, yes, we have just received word that it is in fact a best of 7, so...
Yeah, which is good because the Vandals might be able to win a game. So it looks like this series is probably going to go to Wichita, but I do think seeing Idaho win one of those games and get that win, like, I do think they really deserve it at this point. Like, they've been playing really well. Wichita's just had a better offense, in my opinion. Like, they've been they've been capitalizing on opportunities really well.
I will say one thing that is a little bit unfortunate, but both as a curse and a boon for the Vandals, is that they tend to, for some unknown reason, be capable of making reverse sweeps pretty frequently. Like, we keep saying that it's most likely going to be a Wichita game, but I mean, the Vandals have shown time and time again that they are okay with playing on the back foot. And not only can they play on the back foot, but they can play out those longer sets and really slow and steadily, like Sisyphus, make a comeback happen. So I'm very curious to see what it is their thought process is. They're taking a timeout, as we can see, just kind of, taking their time. They have a full 60 seconds before they get in game. So they're really making sure that they're ready to go.
Yeah, and then respectively in order left to right, we have Jimmy, Logor, and Zachman.
Yes. Tried and true. This has been our roster for almost a year now. Starting from the falls when this new roster ended up hitting us. So we're very confident in our team roster at this point. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I've seen them play, and they're really solid together. Right off the bat, Jimmy almost gets a double tap on net there. Logor is going to carry it center. Solus is going to take it downfield. Zachman is going to bring it center. We're already seeing some good pressure and some good offense from the Vandals. Though, Jimmy right there, he's keeping it on the side of Wichita. Like, they've been having more proactive challenges, like, immediately, even within these first 30 seconds. Now Zachman is going to take over. He's going to bring it to the corner. Solus gets the touch there, kind of fighting Jimmy for the ball. He's going to carry it in.
Oh, great tap right at the very end. Just barely gets a bump on Solus to knock him barely off of the net line there.
Now Logor is passing it to Zachman.
What a phenomenal spike. I mean, just getting it right underneath of the legs of, I believe Sheg was the one who was in the goal there. Yes, it was.
Yeah. That was...
Three of Wichita, in fact. What a find there from Zachman. I mean, that's the Zachman that I come to know and love right there.
Yeah, Zachman, he has a knack for being at the right place in the right time and just getting a goal. Getting the ball in exactly the right spots. And now Kappa is going to try to retaliate, try to get it downfield. Zachman, he has control of the ball, not for much longer, as Sheg tries to bring it center. He almost connects with Solus, but Logor kind of has it off the ceiling. Kappa is going to get it down center. Oh, that was a good save from Jimmy.
Jimmy is there, in fact.
Yes, and now Zachman, he's going to bring it downfield. Probably, it doesn't go for the sideball redirect there. Solus is going to take it down now. We've seen a lot of fighting for the midfield. It's gone back and forth a lot. Zachman gonna pass it to Logor. They do get a shot off the backboard. Zachman hits it again!
Man, his tricks and shots have been so incredibly unique the last 2 minutes or so that he's been on the board here. I mean, just look at how slowly he hit this ball. He makes Sheg think, oh, he's definitely going to for sure shoot it into the left side because, I mean, that's where more open space is. But no, he's like, easy, slow touch. You can't react to this if it's too fast or too slow.
Yeah, and going back to what you said earlier, like Zachman has really been showcasing that creativity that I think the Vandals were missing in the first 3 games of the match. So we could definitely be looking at a more intense series here, especially if Jimmy has something to say with it. He almost got another goal in net for the Vandals, and it would have been 3-0. And even 2-0, I think it's half the goals they've gotten this series already, maybe more.
It's true, and make that a third nonetheless, as Jimmy just barely is able to dink it right into the top left corner there. Zachman setting him up quite nicely down there right at the end with that perfect bump onto Kappa just to kind of ignore him from the goal. So.
Yeah, one thing I did notice was the absence of Wichita players in that net. I know Kappa, I believe, was demoed, and I don't know if the other 2 players were truly faked out. But that might be a little bit of a lapse in judgment on the side of Wichita. And now some teamwork.
I really like that save. That was super cool, actually. Sending it in the one direction and then sending it the other way, just right into Logor's hands. That was really nice, actually. I like that a lot.
Yeah, oh, Solus, he's going to try to get a second chance here. Zachman clears it away. That was a great read from Zachman. You've got to really be careful with those types of saves because a lot of pro players go for the air dribble bump, which can be really hard to stop if the car just gets in front of the ball and you're just knocked clean out of the sky. That was another crazy save from Zachman.
Oh my gosh. He is the goalie for a reason. He is very comfortable sitting inside of that net. And I mean, you can see even there, he's like, yeah, I'll challenge you one-on-one. I got it. No, it doesn't matter if it's midfield in the net. It's all me, baby.
Yeah, now Jimmy is going to carry it downfield. We've seen some crazy plays from the Vandals thus far. Like, they were playing well, but this is a step up. And I think it's really the response you need.
Yeah, and I honestly think it's a result of the thing that you pointed out at the beginning of the match where the Vandals were taking a lot more of that aggressive stance, right? You know, obviously their defense can hold pretty well into Wichita here, but I mean, it was their offense that was kind of lacking. They're like, you know what, we should step up our offense and really focus on it in this match, and it's been a boon for them so far. And sometimes that is a result of, hey, our offense is better, which means that our defense is probably going to be a touch more lacking, which is going to result with Shea getting a very nice goal here.
Yeah, Jimmy couldn't quite make it. Kind of had to lunge for it there, but that was great placement from Shea. Similar to Zachman, just shooting it at the worst possible position for the opposing team. But as the scores so clearly dictate, Idaho, they might have a quick response to this, but even if they don't, and even if they just keep Wichita out of...
Ooh, he can't quite keep Solus out of that fake there. Just decides to run it along the ground instead of going for an air dribble like he has been for the last couple of rounds. Actually, it's great control to just catch that ball. Normally, when the wall hits a car like that, it'll bounce up off of them, and then that's what prompts him to go for an air dribble. So the fact that he actually caught it and kept it on the ground was really impressive.
Yeah, no, totally faked out Logor there. Kappa was there, I think, to bump Logor out of the way, even if Solus didn't quite get the touch. Kappa's going to hit it downfield. Logor has it in the bag. He's going to try to connect with Zachman on the corner. He isn't quite able to. Low on boost, but he still knocks it over the corner. And now Zachman and Jamie, they have to keep it out. We've seen a few double commits, I think, on the side of defense, which has been a little bit more difficult for the Vandals to maintain it. But they have been decent, only not letting as many goals through. And now Logor, he's going to try to knock it to offense. Solus has the ball. He's going to take it up the side, air dribble it, tries to get it. Zachman pulls off the save again. Great defense from him. Shea is going to try to do something with the corner, leaves it for Kappa, but it's going to go towards midfield. Zachman gets a good center over here. Good boom, and a lot of the times, even if you can't fully get the ball onto the other team's offense, sometimes it's really good to get a breather by getting such a booming clear, even if you can't maintain it.
Yeah, and I mean, the Vandals are just going to show, even if they were down, ideally you want to be up 2 goals normally, but I was thinking earlier, I was like, oh yeah, we're up 2 goals, now we can probably switch to the mindset of, okay, we don't need to rely on our offense anymore, we can switch back to that classic defense that we had, and even if they do get 1 goal like they did about a minute ago or so, our defense can probably hold strong for the last 30 seconds or so, and I think that's what the Vandals are trying to bank on right now.
Oh, so Zachman barely pulled that. Kappa was harassing the heck out of him, but he was able to pull that off, which is very impressive if someone is bullying you in the net. And now it looks like Jimmy pulls off the save. There's 11 seconds left in match, and the Vandals, if they just keep going, keep working, preventing those double taps, they might come away with this win.
1 second, he has a shot for a goal here. Almost gets it. Ball is still up in the air. Logor is going to try and spike it down on the ground, and he gets it right behind Wichita, right at the very end, scoring the first goal. And the round point for the Vandals now.
That was an intense last 30 seconds. That was, especially after Solus's goal, that was pretty crazy.
It is crazy, and not as crazy as 5 saves from the side of Logor. Yeah. That was so many shots that they had to play. Even in the last 2 minutes is where most of those saves came from, in fact. So the fact that Logor was there, or sorry, Zachman was there constantly ready for those saves is very impressive.
Yeah, and I mean, Zachman, he's a great player all around. Like, you could see with that shot that he did, he's really good at getting the ball into the right places and keeping it out of the wrong places. Like, he's a very well-rounded player.
It's true, and I mean that's the kind of player that you want on your team, because we have the explosive Jimmy, the person who does all the tricks and air dribbles and that kind of stuff. We have the solid rock that is Zachman, and then Logor is just super flexible. Logor is there anytime that the team needs him to be there, and so I mean having those 3 different play styles is super duper useful on a team like this. And I mean it's really gone to show. I mean they got their first round win now. So
yeah. I think all of their game sense is really good, but Zachman, I think his game sense, his game sense and his goals are what won that game. It
is true. So, I mean, now if you're the Vandals, you've got to be feeling comfortable. It's like, obviously, now we can do it. So, going into this game number 5, I mean, you've got to be, spirits are hopefully raised going into this game.
Yeah, and you got to hope you can keep up that aggressive offense. And now Logor, he had little boost, but he did get up to that ball. Jimmy, he's going to knock it down the field again, fall straight to Solus. It's going to pass to Kappa, and he tries to get the double tap. It's knocked away by Logor there. Now Zachman's going to try to keep over, but we've still been seeing that consistent physicality from Wichita, and it's made it really hard for the Vandals to keep up those plays. But now Jimmy might have something to say about that.
Oh my gosh. doesn't quite get the right angle. That was a very open net. Kappa is barely able to pick up the goal once the shot is missed. But I mean, if you're a Vandal fan, you're like, hey, I can see the cracks in the armor now. It's like, hey, these are opportunities that we can start taking in. Wichita has to start cleaning that up if they want to, keep themselves in this game as well.
Yeah, and now Jimmy hits it back towards the center. Shag. Oh, it looks like Zachman is being hit around by Kappa, possibly preventing him from challenging that ball. Logor can't quite get there in time. So we're seeing, again, that preliminary offense being super effective from the side of Wichita. And now they're moving it to the Vandals half. And Logor can't quite catch up to it. Shag is there first. Ooh, a nice, oh.
Wow, that was a great clear over onto the left side of the stage just to kind of center it. You don't really see the ball getting centered along the sidewalls very often. They're like a perfect corner hit from Shag here in order to set it right up for Kappa.
Yeah, and there were 2 Vandal players in net, but they just couldn't quite get that save in time. Like, especially when you get up to the pro levels, you have to get, in normal circumstances, you have to get power in those shots. Like, because pro players, they have fast reaction time and, more importantly, good car control, so they can really get into those awkward positions unless you just slam the ball in.
Yeah, so far what we've been seeing is kind of at the beginning of this game, I was a little bit worried because the Vandals had started to show those signs of, yeah, on our defense, we start to panic just a little bit if it's been a long enough volley where we do start to go for those double commits, And so I think that's kind of been a little bit of the boon of the Vandals so far for this game. But I mean, Logor has been doing a great job at maintaining this ball control so far.
Yeah, he's been very, he hasn't necessarily been aggressive, but he's been on top of things, which is really important for possession. Now Zachman is going to move it downfield. Shag with the save in the bag. Logor is going to take it over, though. He can't quite get it, or sorry, Jimmy. He can't quite get it around Kappa. Oh,
not quite. Gets a hit on the crossbar there. And yeah, I mean, from both sides now right now, you can kind of see that there's only been really one defender on both sides of the equation now. Both teams are very going all in on this offense.
Yeah, I agree. There's just been, I feel like there's been a little bit more fumbles this game. I think both people are getting a little bit nervous, Wichita, from seeing that backlash from the Vandals.
Oh, what a great setup from Logor, but an even better bump coming in from Wichita, bro. That was so good for them to recognize.
Yeah, no, it was, the team plays on both sides have been great, but more importantly, I think those bumps are really pulling through for both teams, and it's been really fun to see that. Because I think in other ECAC games, I didn't really see that very much from our Vandals, so it's been interesting to see how that's come into play with this series.
Vandals are in possession of the ball right now. We have cleared all the way up onto the side of Wichita's team here, and we do have 2 Vandals up in the the midfield now, so that we can kind of control the ball. Logor almost getting a goal, but Solus is there, and we're still going for it though.
Yeah, now Jimmy, he has the control, doesn't quite have the boost though, so he hands it off to Logor, who almost gets it in net there. It looked like there was a bit of a double commit, or maybe even a triple commit from Wichita. So I think if Vandals can maintain their offense and keep the pressure, Wichita can get flustered too. And I think they need to kind of recognize that and just get those quick challenges mainly.
Yeah, Wichita's been doing a really good job at running the clock out so far. I mean, they've been really confident in their defense, but the other thing is that they've been doing is they've been kind of stealing the little penny pads that you've seen on the floor here from the Vandals. This has probably been the first time that the Vandals have had a really hard time actually staying on the Wichita's side of the field just because they don't have that boost that they want.
Yeah.
So they have to, retreat back to their own side just to, go get those boosts.
Yeah, and you can only be so good at boost management.
It's true, it's true.
And now it looks like Logor has a bit of a backflip there. Oh, Zachman barely gets the save in time. Jimmy, he's going up into the air. He does fake out Solus, leaving it for Zachman, but Zachman is interrupted by another Wichita player. And now it's going to head back down towards the net. Jimmy has the save. Zachman with another save, but there's only 30 seconds left on the clock for the Vandals. Zachman, he's going to carry it downfield, but he doesn't really have any boost to follow it up with. And now Jimmy's going to try to get it center.
What a great center! Oh, no!
Oh, that has to suck.
And that is an open goal. Logor is barely able to follow the ball down to the goal. Gets demoed for his troubles, in fact, but that is going to be Wichita's possession of the ball here. 13 seconds left on the clock.
Oh, this is a dangerous position for U of I. They might, I think this game and this series is in Wichita's unless they can score a goal right now.
They have to get this touch here. But the demo! That was such a brilliant demo!
That was so good.
Oh my gosh, Seg sealing the game there for Wichita with a brilliant demo onto Logor. I've never seen something like that ever in the history of Rocket League, let me tell you.
Oh, that's
Holy
awesome,
cow.
yeah. No, there was some very clever plays from Wichita. Like, we're talking about Zachman's game sense, but
Oh my gosh, Wichita's
yeah.
and especially Shag has been on
Mhm.
another level throughout the day today. Uh,
Yeah, I
GG,
would agree.
yeah, GG's to
Yes.
Wichita State. They played phenomenally. I think our Vandals honestly also played fairly well, all things considered, going
Yeah.
up a rival school of the caliber of Idaho State.
Mhm.
And so I
Yeah.
mean it was a very informative match, I think, for the Vandals in this scenario.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, they really locked in that fourth match, but they weren't really able to carry it over to the fifth one, or else Wichita also, they're very good at adapting. So I think all around it was just, they were both two very competent teams.
Yeah, and I really, at the end of the day, I think it mostly just came down to Wichita had more of that aggression. I mean, they were willing to set up the plays where they can, fly in with that max speed, like you were saying, and really get strong hits on the balls that the Vandals just quite weren't ready for a lot of these times. And
yeah, as we saw with Solus right there.
Yeah, and I mean, not to say that the Vandals didn't have some of their own good shots as well, but I mean, yeah, it was a very, very good game all in general. So
yeah, and I mean, it was definitely good practice for the Vandals too, especially if you said they had an easy ECAC game before this. Do you know, how has ECAC been going?
The Vandals are kind of funny because I believe they've only officially played, now it's 3 as of today, but they had only played twice where they had to have 3 different reschedules and they had a bye last week. And so they just kind of have been not really playing their season like on a normal schedule. And so it's been a little bit back and forth for how they've been going.
Yeah.
So this was one of the first days that they've actually really been like, yeah, we've locked in. Today's our Rocket League day. We're going to play all of our Rocket League and we're going to play it well because today's our day. And so I think we're going to start getting back into that groove starting with this week. So
yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
And then I think you're going to stream Overwatch more as well.
Yes, we will have a little bit of Overwatch for you guys next up here in a little bit. We did get through this game fast enough that we feel like we can stream our Overwatch varsity team. So we're going to go ahead and get that prepped and set up for you. But for right now, I mean, that's all we've got as far as Rocket League goes.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have more in the coming weeks.
Yes, that is indeed the idea. I mean, hey, Les Gainley, thank you so much for commentating with me. This was a blast. I don't normally get to commentate with all of our commentators, so it's been a lot of fun, hopping on every now and then and engaging with you guys. So
yeah, I mean, your insights were really good. So
thank you.
All around, it was a great match, great series.
It was a great match, great series, and we can hopefully see you guys coming up here soon for our Overwatch match coming up next. But for right now, that is going to be us heading on over into the end of our segment. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will catch you guys in the next one. Maybe. There we go.